Hey guys, and welcome to a new Director video tutorial. Last time we had a look at all the concepts that allow the Ventuz Director to control remote production machines and give their runtimes commands. In this video I want to show you how to set up such an environment in which you are able to control several remote machines. To begin, let's take a look at the start screen of the Director. Here you can not only choose to create or open a show, but you can also define which topology to use. While you can change the active topology with a drop-down menu, you can click on the button next to it to edit the currently active topology. To show you the features of this editor, let's start with a completely new topology. Click on the plus down here to create a new topology. Give it a name and define a graph that you want to start with. For this video I will use an empty topology that has only one port on its clusters. Now add a cluster representing our local machine to the topology. Click on this button and choose local machine. For my local machine I want to use two pipes to be able to show both a preview and the program in the Director interface. Now we have a cluster that our local machine is already assigned to. It has two pipes and one port per pipe. So let's create a channel slot to fill these pipes with content. Click on this button and give the slot a name. Now I bind the program output to pipe 0 and the preview to pipe 1. As I said before, I want to show the program and preview on the Director interface. To do that, I need to add two views to the topology. Do so with this button. Name the views properly and connect them to the pipe of our local machine. Lastly, I want to have remote machines that I can control with the Director. So create a new cluster, this time a remote one. Name it and assign two machines to it. You can assign a machine by right-clicking on the slot and then assign a machine by name or IP, or you can simply drag and drop one of the machines that are listed in the available machines on the right. Now bind the program output to the cluster pipe. With this topology you are now able to create a show with which you can control a remote cluster with two machines. As you can see, the clusters give several information about its machines. Firstly, it has a name, only for recognition inside the topology graph. Next to it you see the group ID that those machines use. When there is a red question mark, you either have no machines assigned or the machines have different group IDs. Change the group IDs of each machine in the cluster to any number other than 0 and be sure they are the same. When right-clicking on the cluster you can change the configuration, including the group ID for each one of the machines. When the icon is showing a red or yellow number, you should make sure that all machines use the same machine and audio-video configuration and render setup. As you can see, you can also take several actions on a cluster or its machines that come in handy while you are running a show. This way you can start or stop the Ventuz runtime or shut down and reboot the systems remotely. Here you can see which machines are assigned. The name and machine ID defined in the VMS and their IP addresses. The machine ID is important to the machine when it needs to look up which part of the scene to render. In the render setup you will define which machine is rendering with how many screens and which part of the scene. So much to the basics of controlling remote machines. Let's now take a look at how to play out different content to different machines. Start with creating another channel slot and give it a proper name. Now create a new remote cluster with only one machine and bind the program view of the slot to the second cluster. Now you can create a show that connects to the two channel slots and you can handle the first remote cluster with one of them and the second independently with the other one. Let's now see what happens when we want to control two layers of content on one machine. To be able to do so, we need to work with two ports on our clusters. So go into the topology's configuration and set the numbers of ports to 2. Now you can create another channel slot and bind its program and preview outputs to the local cluster like the ones of the first channel slot. The program view can also be connected to the second port of our first remote cluster. Okay, now basically this happens. The two ports of a cluster search for the first and second point respectively in the underlying Ventuz project where content can be inserted. So everything that is taken in the second port will go into the place in the Ventuz project that has been defined for content insertion of the second port. That's it, everything else works as expected. Now both the first and third channel will be shown on screen of the local cluster and the first remote cluster. So this is all about creating a topology for controlling one remote cluster, multiple independent remote clusters and multiple independent layers on one cluster with the Ventuz Director. But now we only had a look at how to set up the environment. So the next step will be to learn how to control a show with multiple channels. There are a lot of tools in the director again that can help you with this, and we will get to know them in our next video. So stay tuned and see you then, bye!